All right, we're ready to continue with Tennessee. We'll ask Coach Barnes for some general thoughts on the game, then we'll take your questions for the two players, and then we'll finish up with Coach. So, Coach, if you begin.
Well, I'm just so excited for these guys, our seniors, and they played their hearts out. And Dietrich Mastella, but everyone that came in today did a great job for us. But I don't know what else you could ask from these guys here coming in. And we obviously have great respect for Vanderbilt. But we wanted to take care of the basketball. We thought that was the most important thing today, and really work hard on the defensive end. And we knew they'd make a run in the second half, and I was just really pleased with the way we kept our poise when they did that.
All right, we'll take your questions for Derek and Armani. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a floor mic to you. Hands up. Questions? Okay, let's start down the front.
This is for Derek. Did you guys plan to have help defense come over on some of the big guys? When you were in there talking, I heard you mention about how you guys really try to have a team emphasis on defense, handling them.
Yeah, definitely. Guarding our bigs, because they're got footers. It's kind of tough. Being undersized, we try to close down the paint as much as we can, especially to get the ball inside, because that's what they want to do. And most of the time we really want to try not to get the ball, trying to deny it so they can get the ball inside.
Other questions for Derek or Armani?
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's for Derek and Armani. After losing to Vanderbilt twice this year, did you feel that you just needed to play a more physical brand of basketball and out-physical them inside today?
Armani, would you take that first?
I mean, we just knew that we had to come out and compete. We couldn't think about what happened early in the season. We just looked at it as 0-0. Coach told us in the locker room that it was going to come down to who just wanted the most, and I feel like our guys came out and showed that we wanted it.
Same for Derek.
Yeah, basically what Armani said. We took this as a new season. We looked at film and our mistakes that we made and stuff that we did well against Vandy the first two games. But like Coach said, it was to come out to who wanted to compete, who wanted it more.
Other questions for Armani or Derek? Please raise your hand. All right, right side.
For both the players, could you talk about advancing and getting LSU tomorrow? You guys had a pretty good game against them there in Knoxville earlier in the year.
Derek?
Yeah, definitely we played pretty well at home, but we can't sit here and just act like everything's gonna be easy tomorrow. It's still gonna be a grind tomorrow. They're a very good team, very good talented team. So we still got to come ready to play.
Armani?
I think the most important thing right now for our team is just to make sure that we replenish our bodies and kind of go get off our legs and make sure that we mentally lock in and be ready to come play tomorrow.
Question on the left side.
Armani, you said on TV that you thought the shot would count. What was the anxiety kind of going through your mind or going through the team's mind as you waited for the review?
I think when I was thinking about that, I just think about how many minutes that we had already played. We was one of those teams who had to play the playing game, and we were just trying to get off our feet. I didn't know that the shot didn't count at the time, but, I was just thinking about it like, man, we got to play another 5 minutes, but I was just glad that it didn't count,
Another question on the left side.
Armani, that three with about a minute left in the game, I guess, how big was that and how confident were you that that was going in?
I mean, it just comes down to, being a senior, being a lead on this team. I just pretty much said, why not? I had a pretty good look at it. My teammates and my coaches been having confidence in me throughout the whole year. So, I was able to take the shot, and thank God it went in.
Got time for one more question for either of the players. If you have one, raise your hand. All right, thank you. We'll excuse the players back to the locker room. We'll continue on with Coach Barnes, if you'll raise your hand, and we'll get a floor mic to you. Let's start right in the middle.
Rick, after that last layup, Vanderbilt, you came storming onto the court. What were you protesting about right there?
Well, I knew it wasn't good. No, I really can't talk about it, but I really appreciate the officials. They handled me well and just told me to get back. And, emotions sometimes can get the best of you, but the fact is, it was a great win for our guys. It really was. And the key stat, if you really look at it, is the fact that you look at points off turnovers. They only had 5, and you go back to the other games, they just had lit us up in that area. And we only had 7 turnovers for the game, and we knew at some point in time that they would press and go some zone, and we weren't great, but in a way, I thought it let Armani get a little bit more rest at that point in time. But yet, I'm just happy for our guys. I mean, they've worked hard, and they've done everything we've asked, and they get the chance to play again.
Let's go to the left side.
Rick, you said you thought the shot wasn't good. I guess how much did you talk about overtime in the huddle? Because it seemed like a lot of the guys were looking toward the refs.
I didn't know if it was or wasn't good. I didn't even know that until actually as soon as I turned around, Coach Lanier said to me, he said, "Coach, that shot wasn't good." I said, "Really?" And we had talked about, we'd already had our lineup in the game that we were going to go back out with, and what I was trying to do the first part of that timeout was I'm thinking that we're going into overtime, and Dietrich was down a little bit on himself, and Devin Bachman was upset because those guys got, I don't know what happened when, I thought we started celebrating too soon, and they gave a great shooter just a wide open look because they got back and they weren't on edge. And Armani had gotten on about it earlier about, hey, you guys don't be celebrating. And so I was just trying to get their heads back into the game and trying to tell our bench that, hey, you guys have got to be ready. We've got 5 minutes to go here. And then obviously I started looking at some of the fans behind the score table, and they were all saying it was no good. But until Coach Lanier said to me, I didn't even think it was or it wasn't. That didn't cross my mind.
Question on the left side.
Rick, talk about Damian Jones held to 8 shots and 2 rebounds. How key was that stat?
Well, again, we knew we were switching everything, and for the most part, defensively, we did a pretty good job. We broke down a little bit more in the second half because I do think we got fatigued a little bit, and we were really trying to. And oftentimes there was guards down there just trying to sit on top of him, and we knew they were going to try to throw it over the top, and we just wanted to go get it. We said, if it's up in the air, it's a loose ball, let's go get it. But I really thought, again, you go back to the last game, their perimeter guys did a great job of driving our post players, and that's where they kind of got back in the game again today. But our guards really fought hard down in the low post trying to do some things. Derek Reese that's something we've asked him to do all year, and they went to a couple possessions where they just went 4 around one kind and trying to just pound it in there, and Reese was down there, but he got great help side defense from the back, and we were trying to get more pressure on the ball so if they did throw it, it was up in the air longer and we could go get it.
Other questions for Coach Barnes? Raise your hand, please. Let's come back to the middle.
You talked a little bit about the fatigue factor. You know your team obviously better than I do. I don't know how fatigued they were. When was the decision made to only go with 7 guys?
Well, again, I think that, Shambari had a tough day again today, and matchups, and we just felt like that's what we needed to do, just with matchups, and we felt like those guys were really zeroed in. But now tomorrow we're going to have our bench. I mean, it's going to be tough for Armani to. I'll say that again. I think Armani's tough, and again, everybody makes a big deal about the fatigue factor. I mean, they're playing basketball, and they've got to want to go out, and there's a lot of things a lot tougher in life to have to get up and do than come in here tomorrow and play a 40-minute game. So, but again, we'll need our bench ready, and but it's just the way the flow of the game was. We just settled in with what we wanted to do. We didn't come into the game thinking that's what we were going to do. We're just going to wait and see how it played out.
Other questions for Coach Barnes? Raise your hand. Last call. All right, let's take one on the left.
Rick, what's the feeling on the bench when Dietrich misses both of those free throws on the front end of the 1-on-1s?
Well, again, I mean, I was trying to loosen him up and get him to laugh a little bit and just relax and do it. But, again, I think we were more upset. People on the bench were more upset with the fact we gave him a wide open 3. And, those can be tough free throws. But, and again, I thought that what they did, what we expected them to do when he missed it, they were going to get it and drive it hard to the basket and put pressure on us to either, stop him, foul him, or they could get it off. And I don't know if it can be much closer. I haven't seen it really. But, that's the 3 is the one that we were upset about, and I think that our team was.
Got time for one more question. We'll take it on the far right.
Hate to hit you with the scouting so quickly, but LSU will take the court without Hornsby tomorrow. Does that change the matchup at all for you?
Well, he didn't play very much in our game there. I think that he came out, and I don't think he's played since that game. I don't think. I can't remember, but I haven't kept up with him that closely. But in our game, if I remember right, I don't think he played 10 minutes, if that, because that's when I think he was really starting to have problems with his back problem, I guess. So that part won't change.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.